I went to Europe by myself for 12 days and I planned the entire thing a week before I left. If you want to know how I did that, stay tuned for the rest of the video. This was a budget trip. I am a student, I'm a full-time student. I don't have that much money, but I want to see the world. So I decided we're gonna do it. We're gonna see the world. I stayed in hostels throughout my entire trip. I budgeted, I ate grocery store food almost everywhere I went, or I ate $2 burgers at McDonald's everywhere I went. But I got to see the world, I got to see Europe, and it was such an incredible experience. First, I would recommend staying in hostels. What I used to figure out what hostels I wanted to stay in is a website called Hostelworld. I actually didn't book directly through Hostelworld. I used it more as a search engine, and then I tried to go on that specific hostel's main website to book directly through them. One, because I found that the price was way cheaper, and two, why not support a local business instead of giving these extra service fees and charges and extra money to Hostelworlds? I knew that I was okay with the spontaneity of how I planned the trip. Again, I planned it a week before I left. I actually booked the tickets a week before I left. So this was a very spur of the moment, we're doing this, let's live our life type of trip. And so was the entirety of the trip. So I didn't know where I was sleeping until I got to where I was going next. I went in the off season to Europe, so I didn't find that I had to pay higher prices because I was booking last minute. Most of the prices stayed the same. Obviously, do your research depending on what time of year you go. I think it's on season if you're into winter stuff, but it's off season for like general tourism. Most of my hostels ranged between 20 bucks a night to like 40 bucks a night. I didn't spend anything more than that. My first night, I did a 6-bed mixed dorm. The second night, I did a 6-bed girls dorm. Or not the second night, the second place. The third place, we ended up getting a private room because it was cheaper than the mixed room. The fourth place, we did a 10-bed mixed dorm. The fifth place, 6-bed mixed dorm. And then when I ended up back in Milan, I stayed at the same place again. I did a 4-bed mixed dorm. So I did the whole range of staying in places. I found the sweet, soft middle spot to be 6. Because you get the best bang for your buck. It's not so expensive. Like, it gets more expensive when you dip into 4s and 3s and 2s. Not as chaotic as staying in an 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 bed. I don't even know. I also got lucky almost everywhere I went. Not every bed was taken. So even if we had like a 10 bed, I think only 7 of the beds were taken. I was staying in a 6-bed once, only 3 of the beds were taken. So it wasn't super full. The other thing, how I checked and how I decided my hostels. One, read the freaking reviews, man. Read every review. A lot of them are not in English because, you know, it's traveling the world. Everyone from everywhere comes there. But use Google Translate and read the freaking reviews. You will get a very accurate description on how these hostels are and what people's experiences were based on the reviews. If you just look at pictures and show up, you're screwing yourself. I just looked up the hostel on TikTok or YouTube. So I would look on TikTok to see if anyone else had gone there and like videoed anything about it so that you could see the rooms or their experience or whatever. And I kind of decided based on that. Read the reviews, look at the ratings, and if you can, find like a TikTok or YouTube video about someone who went and they talked about their experience. I'll list the 5 places that I stayed at here. I was happy with every single one. I don't have a complaint about any of them. Every place I stayed at was really good in the budget, really good with pricing, also very clean, very kind. I felt very safe. It was good. It was fine. Next thing, what you should bring to a hostel. But I'm just gonna give some general advice and then you tailor it depending on what your trip looks like. One, I say bring your own towel, but if you don't wanna bring your own towel because you are really trying to save space and or you're bopping around too quickly to where you don't even have time for your towel to dry, screw the towel, rent them. They're usually like $3 or $2 for the entirety of your stay. It's worth it because they're clean, they're new. You don't have to worry about drying them and then shoving like a wet towel in your bag and then it smells bad and it's weird and it's not fun. 2, bring shower shoes. You do not want to get no fungal infection on your feet from those grimy ass showers. Not to say that they're grimy, they're not, but so many people run through them and you don't know how well they're being cleaned or not being cleaned and what's wrong with people's feet, so bring shower shoes. Literally go to Old Navy, they have 99-cent flip-flops, throw one of those in your bag, call it a day. Some hostels will give you curtains for your bunk bed and some won't. If they don't, you can use your towel as your own little privacy curtain. Next, bring a padlock, a little or a combination lock or whatever. Most, if not every hostel will give you some sort of storage to keep your belongings, whether it's big or small, depends on the hostel, but you can lock up your belongings when you're out exploring. Also, they sell locks at all these hostels as well. But again, to be budget friendly, if you plan a little bit in advance, you'll save yourself the costs later. I would bring earbuds, like not noise, what do you call like the test taking earbuds? The foam earplugs. I don't know where I put mine. Or if you don't mind sleeping with big daddy noise canceling headphones, bring those. Sometimes hostels can be loud, and if you're a light sleeper, people are coming in and out in the middle of the night all the time. Like, you never know, and if you want a good peaceful night's of sleep, you should bring some form of noise cancel ability, or just put your AirPods in and play some like soothing piano music or white noise, whatever. Another thing, an eye mask. Everywhere that I went, everyone was very respectful in the rooms. Nobody was flipping the lights on in the middle of the night. No one was being rude and inconsiderate. But I have heard from other people that there are some inconsiderate people out there that just flip the lights on. It's 2 a.m. They turn the big light on instead of their little mini light in their bed. And it disrupts your sleep, you know, and you're out traveling all day, you're tired, you just want to rest. Bring an eye mask. You'll save yourself the hassle and the lack of sleep and the frustration. Another thing that I would definitely recommend also, if you know you're going to be cooking, toss a little plastic Tupperware in your bag. Because if you know you're gonna be cooking, you're gonna have, it's too hard to make a singular portion. You're gonna have leftovers, and all of these hostels, if they have kitchens, they have fridge space, and you just put your name and your checkout date on there so nobody touches your stuff. You put it in the fridge, and then you'll have a meal for the next day. And like us brown folk, if you just take an old yogurt container or an old sour cream container and use that through the entirety of your trip, and then toss it before you come back. Another thing would be like a little laundry bag. To be honest, I wasn't fancy at all, and I just used like a Walmart trash bag as my laundry bag. I wasn't gone long enough for me to need to do laundry during my trip. If you are going for long enough where you need to do laundry, I'd say take a little drawstring bag, throw it in there, and then you can go find a laundromat, or a lot of hostels offer laundry for like a price. I think that's all for like must-haves for a dorm. Train travel is actually very easy across countries, across cities, across everywhere in Europe. Is just so well planned, except for Germany, because that Deutsche Bahn train, man, never on time, or it leaves early, or it leaves late, or it breaks down, or like it doesn't show up. Like it's the most unpredictable train. Everywhere else, I had a really fine experience. Switzerland, oh my God, if your leg is still sticking out and it's time to leave, they will leave your leg sticking out. They are on a schedule. If your arm is still sticking out, say bye to your arm. The door is closing on you. Your backpack, the door is closing on you. Like, you need to be inside at the exact time that departure is scheduled, or whatever is outside is staying outside. The train conductor that comes around to make sure that everyone that needs to get on the train got on the train, whatever, and then they give the approval like whistle in the front, she'll see your ass hanging out the train and she'll still give the approval whistle and be like, nope, we're going. If you're hanging, that's fine. We're going with you hanging. So for trains, I used the app Omio. I used it more as a search engine rather than actually booking on the platform, because all these platforms charge a service fee and it's like $2 or $3. But if you're taking like 3 or 4 or 5 trains a day and all this stuff, like those service fees add up. You don't have those service fees on the official websites. So I would look it up and I'd say, okay, Deutsche Bahn. Then I would go on Deutsche Bahn's website and book directly through them. I also found that not only was there no service fee, but the prices were listed as cheaper, just like Hostel World. In Switzerland, they have this thing called the Swiss travel card. I 1,000,000% recommend, if you're staying in Switzerland for more than 3 days and you know you're gonna be bopping around a lot of different cities. If you feel like you're just gonna stay in like 1 or 2 places or in a small area, not worth it. But if you're bopping from Zurich to Zermatt to St. Moritz to Montreux to Interlaken, whatever, if you're doing a big thing, it's very much worth it to buy the Swiss travel card. It's basically an unlimited travel pass for train, boat, bus, gondola, like everything. Every mode of transportation is included in that, except for some very specific gondolas or very like specific trains where you either have to pay 50% or you have to pay like a reservation fee to book your seat. If you decide to pack a large suitcase, just be ready to lug it around, you know, like just Do a couple bicep curls before you leave and you'll be fine. Everyone scared me by like saying, don't take a big suitcase, like take a backpack, whatever. But 50 pounds is 50 pounds, man. Like, whether it's on my back or if I'm rolling it on the cobblestone roads, I'd rather it not be on my back. Like, I would be in so much pain if that's what it was. And the only time you end up having to lift it is to put it on the train or take it off the train. Like, there's no other time you really have to pick up that bag or take it upstairs. Okay, that's the next thing. Europe is not very accessible, okay? It is, but it's not. There are certain places that are and there are certain places that are not. I didn't have any problems at any train stations or any public locations. Every single hostel we stayed at was a very, very old building. You know, it had a lot of culture, it had a lot of character, like it was super cute. So there is no lift. So if you're staying on the 8th floor, then you gotta lug up that 50-pound bag to the 8th floor. Luckily, I didn't really have to do that. I only had to do it twice. And then one time my brother was there, so he helped me. And then another time, the front desk dude helped me. As a girl, a female solo traveler, keep something for safety. Obviously you can't travel with pepper spray or anything to another country, but get some safety thing. I carried the birdie alarm with me. It was cool. It was not, I never had to use it, thank God. I also carried a whistle with me. Keep a little something for protection. I hope to God that no one ever has to use it, but you never want to be unprepared in case you do have to use it. You have something to protect yourself. Make sure you're telling someone where you're going, whether it's family at home, your friends, your boyfriend, your husband, whoever. Make sure somebody knows about your whereabouts and just keep checking in. The other thing, keep your damn head on a swivel. Do not just stare at your phone. I know that when you're going to a new place, you need Google Maps, you don't know where you're going, but be very aware of your surroundings. And this is not advice for like Europe specific. This is just general life advice. Being a female by yourself, you have to be vigilant. You have to be aware of your surroundings. If something feels off, trust your freaking gut. Get out of there. It's not worth the risk. Nothing is worth that kind of risk. Headphones in, like an AirPod, or if you have a wired headphone, whatever, put on headphones and tell your Google Maps to like talk to you. That I love about solo traveling, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can do exactly what you want when you want to and however you want to do it, right? So if you really liked a place and you wanted to go back 3 times, great. It's just you. You can do whatever you want. We're gonna have a little pour out feelings moment. Just reflecting back on this year, I had a really hard year. This trip for me meant a lot more emotionally than what meets the eye. It was such a formative experience. It was such an emotional experience. I mean, as you saw, I literally bawled my eyes out at the freaking Matterhorn. And it wasn't necessarily just the Matterhorn that brought me to tears. Granted, it was a beautiful mountain. There was so much meaning behind this trip for me. It was a good trip. It was a really, really good trip. It's the happiest that I've been and I've seen myself in a really, really long time. And it was the most genuine happiness. It wasn't like we're putting on a front and we're gonna act happy until we feel happy. I was radiating happiness. Like I was feeling so good. And just like realizing that, hey, life is good. Like life is okay. You can find these pockets of peace in your life and just thrive in them. You're not going through it and you're not in the thick of it. This can be what life looks like, and not just the travel aspect, but just the happiness aspect and finding this like joy in every day and every moment. I loved everything about it. I don't think I even did anything all that extravagant, but it was so meaningful. It was so meaningful to me. And I'm so grateful, and I don't even have words to express that. Like I'm grateful to God. Hey, you found this like pocket in your life to just go and do this thing that you wanted to do. And I needed something to bring my spark back. I really feel like I lost my spark this year, and this is a deeper conversation. My biggest life crisis in this life is that time is passing me by so quickly, and COVID played such a big role in that. I feel like I lost 4 years of my life to the pandemic. COVID started when I was 23. I blinked my eyes and I'm 28. Some of the most formative years of your life, like there's just so much that happens in those years that I feel like lost almost. Know that a lot of my feelings come from the fact that I'm a medical student and I'm a slave to my institution, and I'm a slave to school right now, and I'm a slave to building my career, which I know is the case for a lot of people in all sorts of careers at this age. Like this is the age, your 20s are when you're finding yourself, you're building your career, and you're setting yourself up for your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and the rest of your life. I don't talk about this a lot, but I had a really hard time in medical school. There was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubt and fear and everything that just kind of ruled over my life. It put my life on pause for school. I was like, it's fine, I just need to focus and everything else can come after. This is life. Every day we wake up, whether I have a test next week or I have a test in a month or I have an interview in 2 weeks, you know, all this stuff that you're doing to like prepare for the next big thing or the next big step that you're taking for your life. Every day in between, every day leading up to that is life. I watched my life kind of just pass me by and I was really not happy with that. This was the year of travel. I got to go to Italy earlier this year, which was also one of the best trips of my life. I got to do Europe again. I'm 28 freaking years old. I'm so close to 30, it's kind of terrifying. But in a way, the closer I get to 30, the less old 30 feels. And I know everyone's gonna come at me and be like, 30's not old. I know it's not old, but it feels like such a big number. It feels like such a big number when you're not there, but as you're creeping up to it, it feels even bigger. But then it also feels like, hey, I literally still feel like I'm 16 inside, you know? Like I don't even feel 30. What a year. You know what? Next year is just gonna be bigger and better in every way, and 2025 is gonna be my year, and we're manifesting all the good things. I decided to do Vlogmas this year, and it was probably the best decision I could make because I'm such a nostalgic person. I want to live in my memories all the time. I never want to forget a single thing, which is why if you know me in real life, my phone, I am capturing everything. I'm videoing everything, I'm taking pictures of everything, and like I'm vlogging everything now, and it's like I just never want to forget anything. I want to it's to me, watching a vlog back or vlogging a trip or just a day, an experience, whatever, is equivalent to me like having a really good dream and being able to like pull it into a flash drive and just like rewatch the dream. Sentimental to me to just watch exactly how I was feeling. You're always gonna remember a trip you went on. You know, like I went to India 10 years ago and it was like the most iconic trip that we had taken. It was like 60 days or something. We saw all of India and it was amazing. Even now, if my sister brings something up and she's like, remember that one hotel we stayed at in India? And she's like, with the lanterns and this and that. And I'm like, no, I don't remember. And it is, I hate that. Like, it makes me so upset. You know, that was only 10 years ago. What's gonna happen to my memory in 30 years? Not like, oh, something's gonna happen to my memory, but you know, the details fade, the feelings fade, and everything fades. And I don't know, I love everything about vlogging. I love everything about just capturing and feeling the moment and then refeeling the moment. And I could show my kids and I could just I don't know. Anyways, that was it. That's my blabbering for today. Happy Vlogmas Day 18. I do have a little surprise at the end of this video. When I saw Jasmine, she had a little surprise for me. Thanks you guys for watching. Thanks for being here. I hope if you stayed this long at the end of this blabbering, man, you deserve a gift. Comment down below if you're here, comment down below. Comment memories. If you comment memories down below, I'll send you a gift. I will see you tomorrow for the next vlog.
Open your eyes.
Really? Oh my god! Congratulations, you too! Oh my god! I'm gonna be an aunt. And my best friend's gonna be a mom!
That was the best thing I could bring.
You couldn't top that! I was like, your coming is the best thing, but this
I
is
knew
the
you
best
would like
thing.
that better.
This is the best thing.
Little baby Jasmine.
Oh my god!
Well, we don't know what it is yet.
I'm so excited, I could cry.